Hi fabulous people, Jane here. I was part of a fascinating online conversation this week in a group that I value really highly, and there was a question posted in there that I thought was a really interesting and juicy topic to discuss, and also something that I know wasn't specific to the person that was asking the question. I know that it was also something that has a much broader appeal and effect, and that is, how do you manage relationships with people who approach things from a different angle than you do? So in the horsing world, that could be that you practice a particular style of training or horsemanship, and sometimes your methods and values and ways of approaching things don't line up with other people that can be really important in your life. And I know that in some instances this can cause some conflict or feelings of discord. So how is it that we can best create a mental framework that allows us to approach these relationships and get the best out of them for everyone involved? Now, essentially, I've broken my answer down into three main sections. And the first section is establishing your common outcome or common intention for your training. When we start to engage in conversations where we have differences of opinion, or someone approaches you with a way of doing things that is perhaps not necessarily welcome and also flies in the face of what you actually like to do with your horse, we can get really bogged down in the detail. It can be you should do this, don't do that, use this particular item of equipment. You know, the list is endless really when it comes to differences of equestrian opinion. And what I really encourage you to do is to take yourself out of the detail and move up the scale so that you're looking at things from a much more global or much more generalized angle. Essentially, what I want you to do is establish with whoever it is that you are in discussion with or that you experience these differences of opinion with is a similar intention. Now that intention might be that you're wanting to give the best deal to your horse possible. It might be that you're looking to create a graceful and harmonious partnership. Whatever that intention might be, the ways that you can come at achieving that intention are many and varied. And we often lose sight of the shared intention that many of us hold across the equestrian world and the variety of ways that we can achieve that intention. Now this might not even be something that you engage in conversation with. It might just be something that is helpful to you when approaching people who are really important to you that you know you might have a difference of opinion with. If you can just establish between yourselves some common ground, some unifying territory, and then have enough about you to give respect and discernment and allowance to other people's opinions and training methods, it can go a really long way to creating harmony in relationships and also allowing you to stay open-minded to what it is that you are seeing in other people's training and perhaps what you could adapt and mold to your own purposes to take you closer towards that shared and common goal. The second thing that is really interesting to observe amongst ourselves is how much judgment we are also casting on other people. Often we can feel particularly judged or looked down on, or these feelings of inadequacy can rise in us when we feel like we are being measured from the outside, even if that measurement stick doesn't align with what it is that we're looking to create. But what is interesting is how much judgment we can cast on other people without even knowing it. So if you're feeling something yourself, if you're feeling something that is being expressed to you from the outside, then be mindful of how you also might be creating and interpreting that from your direction also. See if you're being judgmental on any particular areas. See if you need to be more open-minded about the people that you're engaging with and the different training methods that are being offered to you. It's not that you have to compromise your values or even change what it is that you're doing. It's just coming from this place where you feel really centered in what it is that you're offering and the relationship that you're creating with your horse, so that any differences of opinion or ways of doing things don't disrupt that internal compass. You can still stay really grounded and anchored in what it is that you're doing, and simultaneously look at what it is that is going on around you and draw from the positive parts that you feel could add benefit to what it is that you are doing. The third part of the puzzle is, again, understanding what it is that you want from a friendship and want from a relationship, and aligning yourself with those values and identity. So if you're experiencing at the moment some kind of crisis with someone that is really important to you, and by crisis I mean you feel like you're not being completely honest, or you feel a little bit less than when you are engaged in that relationship because of some differences in opinion that have affected the way you relate with someone, then what I want you to do is to take yourself out of that equation for a little moment and just get down on paper what a friendship, what a relationship that really fills you up looks like. And then you can start to align yourself with those principles. It's not that you need to disengage from someone or sort of become really confrontational when it comes to a relationship. It's just that if you have a certain amount of clarity in the values that are important to you, in what it is that you want to offer to someone and bring to the table, then if you move from that position, the relationships around you will organically mold to what it is that you are looking to create. Now, that might mean that certain relationships fall away, and that's okay. We outgrow people, we outgrow relationships, we outgrow processes, and we're only ever gaining. We are never actually losing. Whatever alchemy has been created as a result of that relationship and partnership will only create positive progress in the future if you're moving in a direction that really allows you to experience growth and progress. So, the biggest take-home message from this particular blog that I want to get across is make sure that in whichever relationship it is that you're entering into, where you're experiencing some conflict as a result of differences of opinion, be that in horsing methods or anything else, it can be a great exercise to establish what common ground you have. And that comes down to establishing the ultimate intention of what it is that you're doing with your horses between you. If you can do that, if you can take yourself out of the minutiae and focus in a much more broader way, in a much more generalized fashion, you'll establish that common ground between you, and it will allow some harmony and fruitful conversations to come about as a result. Stay really open-minded to everything around you. Absolutely move forward with educated and opinions that are based on your experiences and what you know to be true. But at the same time, don't plant your flag in the sand so deeply that it cuts you off from what other people are doing and from possible experiences and valuable interpretations of training that may aid your future progress. I really hope that helps. Have a fabulous day, and I would love to hear your experiences and feedback with what I've been talking about. Always so welcome, and I'll talk to you really soon.